Four people with four unique stories on one mission to disassemble corporate brokerage one bad suit and tie at a time. We are the Rebels of Real Estate. Good morning, or afternoon, or evening. How is everybody today?
We're wonderful, man. We're wonderul.
We're here. We're back.
So good. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good today.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Got my sunglasses
How was your run?
on. It was a little slow. I was hurting a little bit today. So yeah, it was. My dog was looking at me like, "Why are you going so slow?" But I was sore. So
in case anybody's wondering, Lisa's phoned in, so it might sound a little weird.
We have a special story today. A special guest.
Let's go to the podcast.
Let's go to the
Let's
beach.
go in the house.
Thank you guys for having me.
Jay Lesko's here. Jay Lesko.
That was a sexy
You have a
voice.
deep voice.
You know, we should have done this at the beach. It would have been better.
That would have been cool.
Always welcome.
We could have
Yes.
all flown down to the beach
could have
with
done
our
an Oceanside.
podcast recording equipment.
Heard about your last flight down
It
there.
was exciting.
I'm a little terrified.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to fly with
It was fun.
I'm here for it. I'll fly with you.
Stopped in Georgetown.
I know you will. Georgetown.
Yeah, you
That's actually a
stopped in
nice airport. By the
Stopped
way.
in Georgetown. No
Yeah.
one lands in Georgetown.
Really?
Yeah, usually it's emergency landings. Only.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it was.
I mean,
yeah.
nobody
Yep,
was there
makes sense.
when I got there, so I guess that makes sense now. But there was a restaurant.
Oh.
There was like 2 people at the bar, and that was it.
Yeah, no one flies out of Georgetown.
Unless you're going to die.
Unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah. Surprised the entire.
Why do we always talk about flights on this?
I don't know.
Every time. It's always
weird.
we talk about flying.
They al-
We
they
should
always
probably
come up.
reel ourselves in and ask Lisa what we're going to be talking
Hey,
about.
Lisa,
That
what are we
sounds
supposed to do?
Lisa, what are we doing?
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about Jay Lesko because he's there. So we might as well talk about him in person instead of, behind his back like we do on all our other podcasts.
Yeah, for some reason his name gets brought up on most of our
Wasn't
podcasts.
he like
I
in
don't know
every
why.
podcast?
Pretty much.
I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is.
Celebrity.
We just like you. You're a
Oh,
celebrity.
you guys are awesome.
I don't know.
Not our favorite, but we
So-
like you a lot.
He's all right.
He's okay.
He's okay. So
So
what's
if anyone's wondering who Jay Lesko is, he's one of our owners, right? Owns at Iron Valley Real Estate.
He owns a
He
few of them.
owns a couple, actually.
yeah, what do you own,
He
Jay?
owns a few. What do you do?
So yeah, I guess my journey, right? How I met this amazing group here? Amazing,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far, but thanks.
Semi okay.
semi okay, 2.0,
Just average.
C average.
See average.
We're the C average crew.
I'm definitely C average.
Yeah. So guys, thanks again for the invite. This was awesome. Very humbled to be here. I've been listening to the podcast for the first few episodes. I guess you've been 5 episodes now, right?
Yes, sir.
And you haven't, and the content's been great between the Grim Cleaper, Rob eating 88 agents, Corey wanting to take the largest shit ever, Adam nearly crashing planes and thinking, what's the business continuity? And, all things Lisa trying to keep it together too. I don't know how you do it, Lisa. It's,
I drink.
yeah,
She's the chaos coordinator.
I don't blame you. But no, I'm just super happy to be here today. Really grateful for the opportunity to kind of talk about, I guess,
We have dogs now.
my stuff, which
Dogs
I
on
don't
the
like.
podcast.
We have dogs on podcasts now.
Dogs on podcasts.
Jay brought his dog.
Sorry,
Oh,
it's Sadie. She's
Yeah,
just
I
back.
did bring something for Corey though. Well, I'll give that out later.
Ah, yes.
It'll be good.
Can't wait.
I'm excited. I'm a little scared.
No, you
All
should
month.
be. You should be. You should be. Because
It's gonna get
it originates from this past bash, so we're gonna take care of that.
Hopefully it has something to do with underwear.
Maybe.
Okay.
Might do.
I hope,
Might have
Corey,
some
you're
to
going
do.
to model them for us.
I
Their
will.
underwear, I want you to.
I will,
You need
yeah.
to wear them for us.
Not a problem.
Yeah, but I guess a little about me. I sell down the Delaware beaches primarily. We've got 4 offices to answer Corey's question. So I'm down in Ocean City, Maryland, Rehoboth Beach, which is at the beach, northern Delaware, Wilmington. We were talking about Wilmington earlier, offline. And then also at Latest Ventures in Exton. So we're been growing like crazy. At the beach was really the first venture I was part of. And I met Mary Schaub, one of our other owners, through that process. And just finally found something that I would say I fit into, and that's kind of the journey.
Hey, Mary Schaub, how are you?
Shout out to Mary.
She's gonna be like probably talking back to you when she hears the replay, like, "Oh, hi, Corey."
I like Mary
Sounds
better
like
than you,
Mary.
Jay.
Mary's
Sorry.
funny.
Yeah, Mary's great.
That was a great
Mary's
impersonation of Mary.
Yeah, we always lose Mary when we go to events. It's fun. We have a happy hour coming up this Thursday down at the beach, and I know we'll lose her. Like she's like our Doug from The Hangover. Like we just can't find her.
She just takes off.
Well, she did that at the
She did.
Maryland Association of Realtors event last year where we were like, where'd she go? We can't find
She
her.
did it in the Dominican too.
She did?
Yeah, she did.
Did she?
She's going to be so mad I'm talking about her. I love you, Mary.
Mary Schaub.
Mary.
Otherwise known
Disappearing
as Mare
acts.
Bear.
Anyway,
Yeah. What questions you guys have for me? I mean, like, I'm happy to be here. I can tell you anything you want to know. I'm an open book.
Do you
So-
regret opening 4 offices?
Do I regret opening 4 offices?
Yeah.
No, not at all, honestly. For me, my path into this was like I'm a former Coldwell banker, Keller Williams guy. Can we say other brands? Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah.
We're the rebels of real estate. You can say whatever you want.
You okay, Jay?
We've
fine.
said some ridiculous stuff. I think you can say whatever you
Say
want on
whatever
this
you want.
podcast.
Yeah. There's that video I recently saw. I'm going to be all over the place where this woman's like, I didn't realize that was tequila. Like, and she's like,
don't point at me.
that's how I feel right now.
Stop pointing at
I'm
me.
not pointing.
Well, you sort of did.
To kill you.
Okay.
If
Because it's Corey's favorite.
What, pointing?
No,
Tequila.
tequila.
Oh, let's not talk about tequila.
Oh, man. We'll save that for like podcast 9,000.
1,462. Yeah.
That's the next thing we got to do. Outside of the Iron Valley beer, we'll do the tequila if you guys want to.
Oh, that would be awesome. I'd be down. Like The Rock.
But I don't regret opening 4 offices to answer your question, Rob. Not at all. I think that the time and velocity is always the biggest thing is what capacity you have. I don't know how you guys do it with the franchise too. I mean, that'd be one of my questions at the end is how do you manage everything you've got going on too?
We drink.
Drugs and alcohol. Maybe not the drugs. I'm just kidding.
What's the next question, Lisa? Keep us on track.
So Jay, you haven't always done real estate. So how'd you end up in real estate?
Well, this is where the poop story is going to come in, I guess.
Oh, Jesus.
Awesome.
No, so I spent about 17, 18 years working in corporate, which I like that you guys don't want to call this corporate, right? Because I kind
The
of
Hive.
got tired. The Hive,
No.
the rectum, whatever you want to call it. For me,
Rectum nearly killed him.
the bowel. The bowel.
The bowel.
bowel.
Yeah. I like it.
The stern.
I wake up every morning and write down 5 ideas. I didn't bring them all with me, but I'm going to keep giving you ideas just I think that's fun. But I worked in corporate for 17 years, and I was just miserable. And my background's finance risk management. You know, I found myself falling into positions in life where I wasn't really wanting the job, but I was the next guy in line, and I was doing okay. So let's give it to that guy. You know, he seems to be, conforming is the word. And after 17 years of that, I had a really terrible boss. I won't say her name. Rhymes with Schmurry. I'm going to hell for that. But
I think I like it.
you like it, the Schmurry?
I like Schmurry.
Yeah, I have no idea what that rhymes with, so you're good.
Yeah.
You definitely hit that well.
But it
Now we know it's a female that rhymes with Schmurry.
It was very challenging to work with it, and I hated it. And my I had one day where I'm sitting there, and for those of you who don't know me, the reason I talk about poop so much is because I have had irritable bowel syndrome my whole life, horribly,
Oh, man.
to the point where
It's brutal, man.
yeah, there's
I can relate.
Yeah, there's times like I'm always thinking about my exit strategy at a listing appointment, buyer's appointment, anything where I'm like, where's the bathroom? First thing I did when I came up here was like, where's that bathroom at? Like that's in my head. So there was one day I was super stressed. I didn't make it in time to the bathroom in a corporate job
you're
wearing
serious.
a suit.
You were
Wearing a
serious.
suit.
Wow.
This is the shit story. Okay.
So I
Oh, man.
crapped my pants, and
It happens.
That was a
no,
shitty
it doesn't.
situation. It's a really shitty situation.
It was really shitty,
Yeah.
and that was a moment my wife and I said, you know what?
Everything went to shit.
That was the changing point, right?
That was the changing
That
point.
was it.
Ironically enough, I'm driving
Yeah.
down here. I'm going down the Hershey Highway to get down here to do this podcast, and I'm like,
Literally went down the Hershey Highway to get out. Oh, wow.
so I'm thinking about that on the way down here. I'm like, don't crap yourself on the way. You got 63 miles, 1 hour, 9 minutes. You
can
got
do it.
this.
You can do it.
And I know that sounds like disgusting and disturbing to a lot of people, but I'm like, I don't care. The one thing I learned about being myself was something you guys talked about, which is being unapologetically yourselves, right? Be who you are.
Yes, sir.
And be accepted for that. If people don't like you, then screw it.
Yeah.
So that was my path, and that was in 2016 that happened. And at the time, we had a beach house outside Bethany Beach, and my wife made the recommendations like, you've talked about doing real estate for the longest time. Why? This is it. Why don't we move down there? I'm a nurse. you can do anything, and let's just take that risk. We moved down there not knowing anybody, had no sphere of influence, had nothing.
Oh,
Started from nothing. And
it's a big
Started
change.
from the bottom.
yeah, it was
Hi,
it was,
bro.
Yes, sir.
it's what I would call.
That was a good touch. work,
That's
man.
awesome.
Nice. That was nice.
I want that for my listing appointments.
That's a good idea.
I want that.
Good idea.
Yeah, I'd like $1 million for my house, and you could just be like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, you got to get some other like insults on there that are like, nah, not gonna happen.
We don't have any insults, do we? We need to create
I
some.
want that one that says, "Are you sure about that? You sure about that?"
You sure about that?
I want that one on there. That was my journey to the beaches, and it was what we call a calculator risk. I guess it is, right? Is that what the term is?
Calculated risk.
It's a calculated risk.
Calculator
We're
risk.
gonna calculate again on this here
There's
podcast.
a little hummingbird out there or something.
No, that was a finch.
Oh,
It's
wow, you really
called
know
a
your birds.
hummingbird, though. Yeah, I'm weird.
We have
You do a
finch
lot of
eggs right
bird
now at our
spotting.
house.
I do. I
You
like
have the
watching
binoculars
birds.
and
I'm always out bird watching.
Bird nerd.
Bird nerd.
The bird nerd.
Bird
Anyhow.
nerd.
So that's cool. So it
IBS.
really did. I was thinking you were joking when you said it was a shitty story, but it really was.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Truly shitty story. And I knew that was the moment. That was it. Sometimes you just need to have a big shit to
Once
figure
the
out what
shit
you do
hits
with
the
life. Yeah, like-
You get out.
When the shit hits the fan, that's when it's time to move on.
This is the podcast
true.
that Apple's
Yeah.
gonna cut us off on. Like,
So,
okay, you guys are great
Right.
until you said shit 100 times in the first 5 minutes of your podcast.
the AI algorithm is going to identify us as a real shitty problem.
Yeah, we're done.
was the shit
That's pretty good.
It was close.
was the shit contained in your pants, or did it leave your pants?
Oh, that's a question.
Ooh, the texture was definitely multi-consistent.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's so bad.
But,
TMI.
but
All
there's
right,
thi-
you went too far, Lisa.
but she-
Listen, no. I have a funny story. That's why I asked the
Uh-oh.
question.
Oh, great!
More
Another
shit
poop
stories.
Story.
but it wasn't fully solid. Let's put it that way.
Oh man.
Yeah. So there I am in a men's room at Bank of New York Mellon. Sorry, Bank of New York Mellon. And
With the boss that rhymes with Schmurry.
Schmurry, where you going? I'm like, I gotta go. Like, I'm out. Like, this is it. Like,
You did have to go.
I had to go. I took my underwear off, threw them right in the garbage can, felt bad for the guy that was cleaning that can later that day, and that was it. And
Did you quit on the spot?
no, I didn't quit on the spot. So there was a day I wanted to walk out of there the next day. It was just part of it was just the stress, anxiety of dealing with a very difficult work environment and not having people that mutually respect it. And, Adam and I were talking about this earlier before you guys got here about the win-win in life. And it just wasn't a win-win, right? I was a pawn in their system to conform to, and I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
It makes me want to throw up a little thinking about that. But
It's
that's what it is,
awful.
but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Corey, you'd walk in there, they throw you out in 2 minutes. No
Right.
offense.
Oh,
but,
I understand that.
but it'd be fun to watch. That'd be great.
I would have. It would be a show before I would go.
Yeah.
Be a show before I go. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
so
Maybe
my
not a
story-
shit show.
It was a
No,
shit show.
my story is actually Justin's story. He can probably hear me because he's sitting on the patio. But he was working one day at his office, and he's responsible for maintenance. And somebody shit themselves, but it literally came out of their pants, and so somebody had to go clean the shit up. But it wasn't him. He didn't have to do it. He made somebody else do it. But a similar situation, just couldn't get to the bathroom fast enough.
IBS is serious though.
Oh yeah, I mean,
It's a big deal.
I
It's
take,
a big deal.
I take meds for it, and I have for the past maybe 10, 15 years. And but you know what? I've learned to embrace it because it's part of my identity now. We're talking. You told me 5 years ago I'd be sitting on a podcast with you guys talking about my shit in an office. That's a pretty successful career, right? Like, I'm pretty happy about that.
I'm gonna sit in the same office as corporate and talk about my shitty
Shit.
situation.
Not corporate. It's headquarters.
Well, I did but you can't see them. The quotation marks. So.
Yeah,
That's how
I
it's.
saw him. Just kidding.
That's how it started for me. Like, took that calculated risk to move down to the beaches,
Calculator risk.
and just kind of thinking back was the biggest risk I've ever taken. And I didn't want to let my wife down, so I was like, I'm balls to the wall on this. I got to make this work. This has got to be successful. There is no failure's not an option with this.
When was that, Jay?
So
how long ago was it?
That was in 17. So 2017, you guys start 2016. You're probably going through the same thought process, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to make this work? And for me, it was, I got to make this grow. Started at Coldwell, moved over to KW with a team, started a team there. Wasn't trying to start a team. Had people that just said, hey, listen, if you start a team, I'll join it. And I'm like, okay. Let's see how it goes. Like, this might work.
Do it.
And then it just grew from there. And I think after 2 years, we're pumping about $30 to $37 million in production after 2 years.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And just working hard and networking. And then the opportunity to come over to Iron Valley back in 2020, I was like, this has got to be a joke. There's no way anyone could pay these splits, right? And has this model. And especially in slower, lower Delaware, we call it, things don't happen quickly. Change does not happen fast at all down there. And everyone thought, hey, this model's going to fail. It's not going to work. And, we were the first team to come over, and we believed in it. We saw it. And now we're close to number 5 in the market in Rehoboth right now, which is awesome.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Taking market share.
That's
what
it.
It's about.
Yeah.
So, obviously, you've had your team for a long time. Talk about your team. Talk about your team, and talk about your amazing wife, Meg, who is now part of your team.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's a very private person. So I was like, hey, they're going to ask about you. What can I talk about? And she's like,
she's awesome.
She is.
I get it.
She's my rock of Gibraltar. She really holds it together for me. I have an amazing team. So actually, one of the first people that joined my team was Anita Roughton. She and I took real estate class together. We were the first 2 in every day. We're always in like 15 minutes early studying. So she's been on the team. She's been with me from the beginning. I also have in Delaware, Sherry Custodio is also our broker of record and became my business partner in the ventures. She's on the team in Delaware only because she can't be in Maryland because the broker cannot be. And then I also have, I should know everyone on my team off the top of my head, but why is this so difficult? Ian Blythe, that British realtor, loves it. Straight out of London.
Nice.
You sound like you're from London every time I talk to him. He's super awesome. Amy Corbett, who now lives up in Michigan, and she's selling remotely. And then I also have, of course, my wife, who was originally a nurse and still is a nurse. She still does nursing work. And she made the jump over back in 2020 to become a realtor and sold about, I think it was 7 or 8 million her first year.
Wow.
And I didn't do anything my wife is awesome, and she is super independent. I think, Lisa, you talked about on the last podcast about, the challenges of being a female in the business and how to drive things and, what it's like. And she takes those labels down too. She hates that, and she just goes after it. And that's just her mentality. She'll figure it out. And she didn't really want my help so much, I'd say. She wanted to know that she could do it herself and not feel like she was Jay Lesko's wife. She created her own name, her own brand. And that's what I love about her. She's going to always do her own thing, no matter what it is.
Do your thing.
Do your thing.
Meg.
Do
It
your
was
thing,
probably
Meg.
a good time for her to get into the business. That was like right around COVID.
Oh, yeah,
That
it
was
was
really difficult for the medical community and professionals during that time.
Perfect timing for her. It's as we know, timing is everything in the market with our businesses. But she did a great job with just owning it, and I think she's the type of person that can pick up and do anything and be successful at it. Like now, we're doing bowling now, so I don't know if someone.
You just like the shoes.
The shoes are awesome, by the
I
way.
like the shoes.
I bowled for a very short.
I like
period of my
bowling.
life.
So she's picked up.
We always joke the poor kids learned how to bowl when they were kids because it was the cheapest thing that you could do.
It's
Not cheap anymore.
It's so
No,
expensive.
It's not anymore.
It's $60
But
for
it
like
used to
2
be.
hours.
It's wild.
And so she's picking up a bowling ball for the first time in like ever, and taking it seriously, and she's doing better than I did ever after like 6 weeks of bowling. And she's really hard on herself that way. She wants to be the best at everything. So I get a lot of inspiration from that personally. I'm like, yeah, that's really motivating when you see that for me.
That's awesome.
But yeah, she's awesome. She's great. We have a great relationship and super supportive of everything we did. And I think that was the other part of it is when I was going through my struggles, she took a risk on me. So I was like, listen, this is your time. Like, this is your time with or without me. You can do whatever you want to do. But if you want to get into real estate, this is the time to do it. Like, I'll fully back whatever you want to do. And she took that leap, and she loves it. She does it part-time more now, and she still nurses because she doesn't want to lose that connectivity with, part of her identity, who she is. So that's as serious as it gets. I don't want to joke about my wife ever. So I don't want to get in trouble.
She's great. She's
I
great.
think
You just
I
set
think you did
yourself
pretty
up
well.
for a good week of she's gonna be cool with you. I don't think you can do it any wrong for the next week. I think
I
you're
hope
good.
so. I
Your,
hope.
your power meter just went.
Oh yeah,
all the
I'm
way
just
up.
being cautious.
This is low. You're all the way.
yeah,
here.
that was
You're
great.
there.
Yeah, you did a great
just
job.
trying to be, respectful of her boundaries.
It was
that's all.
super genuine though. That was cool.
Thank you.
So what's your most memorable experience in real estate?
It goes back to poop again.
Oh,
This is really a shitty situation today.
Yeah, and it's so weird. Like, I feel like sometimes life attracts certain things to you, and shit is just one of those things. that
You're just always
attracted to
falling
me.
into shit. Always falling into shit. I don't know.
Yeah, so I had two different clients where I represented them as buyers, and we were doing showings, and we go in. And now keep in mind, I primarily sell in a market where most of the sellers are older. They might be slipping a little bit mentally. They might be off. And I think it's happened twice to one buyer and once to one other buyer, where we walk in and there is some guy taking a shit with the door open in one of the bathrooms.
In the house?
In the house we're showing. And I'm the guy that
happened to me.
rings the doorbell, knocks the door, even when I know it's go and show. I'm being very proactive. And people always say, why keep knocking the door? I'm like, well, let me tell you a story about a guy I saw taking a shit, right? So that was probably like the most memorable, because you don't forget that, you don't forget that moment of watching, someone pinching a loaf and you're trying to show your client, like, what do you think of the house? Now, the fun part was providing the feedback. Providing the feedback for those was how house shows beautifully, but the guy shitting really turned off the buyer.
Oh man.
So that happened, I want to say it was 3 times. And I'm like, what is going on?
Wait, 3 times?
3
You
times.
walked in on somebody taking
Three
a
That's
shit?
wild.
With the same people.
2 different buyers,
Okay.
3 different houses. So 2
That's
buyers
wild.
had it experienced. They're like, what's going on? I'm like,
That is absurd.
That's crazy.
I was like, it's like
You're attracted to shit.
it's like Justin Timberlake. It's got to be May. Like,
I've
that's-
never.
May. It's got to be May.
It's got to be May.
It's May.
I've walked in on some naked people. That's
Yeah, we should
that's
all
the
share.
weirdest-
Let's all
Yeah.
share.
That's
our
the
weirdest
weirdest thing
stories.
that ever happened to me.
Yeah, I'd be
is-
curious to hear what your weird stories
We,
are.
I
you
have
walked
a
in
couple
on
of them, too.
naked
Yeah.
people.
So a dude was laying, and I'm pretty sure he was doing it on purpose. You know what I mean? Like that was his thing. We walked into the house, walking around like, hey, nobody's home. Open the bedroom door. He's laying there, fully spread.
Wow.
Wow.
And the woman was like, oh, and shut the door. And oh, I didn't realize anybody was here.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, that sounded like the
Like a
What
gong,
show?
gong
What
show.
CSI or something.
Oh.
It was an old
Law and
court
Order.
show. Law and Order.
Law and
That's
Order.
what it sounded like.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Anyhow, yeah. So that guy was butt naked on the. Oh, I know what yours is.
I don't know if you know mine.
Yes, I do.
I have a lot.
What about the room? The red room.
Oh, that was weird. I don't know if that's my weirdest though.
Oh,
Honestly,
really? Okay.
I have to think. I'll just do that one real briefly. But I did walk into a sex room. That was crazy, like a straight sex dungeon with my clients.
Padded.
Was that the one in
With a
Palmyra, like
swing.
in the basement?
It was in the
Or
attic.
whatever?
It was
Oh,
the one
okay.
in Palmyra, but it was in Palmyra and it was in an attic. I did walk in that. But my most uncomfortable one I walked in on. So I was showing a multi-unit in Hershey, and it was like a weird CD multi-unit, and the tenants were
CD
there.
and Hershey doesn't really go
I know
together, dude.
you wouldn't think, but it's in like a weird section. It was weird. So we walk into, there was like a lower level, like in the basement, like an apartment, and there was a really strange guy there. And he's like, "Hey guys, I have to let you in, and I'm here. I'll be here." So we're like, "All right, cool." And he's being really weird, and we're walking out his apartment. We get to the bedroom, and there's a shotgun on the bed, and there's condoms on the bed, and there is a bottle of lube on
What?
If you could see Ken's face right now,
the nightstand,
Oh
right?
my god.
Ken's eyes are as wide as I've ever seen
So
them.
it's like me and the two guys that I
What's
know
going on here?
looking at this, and we're looking at this guy, and we're like, I guess he had plans for us today, so
Holy
this is gonna
crap,
get weird. But yeah, so that was probably the most uncomfortable situation I walked into. That was a little strange. We had no idea whether that was for us or the next person coming into the house. But
I think
it was
I
a
would have
little-
turned around and hightailed it out
It
of
was
there.
we just stayed. It's cool. I've been in worse situations.
I
in my
wouldn't have
life,
gone
but
any further. I would have hightailed it right out of
I
there.
would have got out of there.
I was actually there for it. I'm like, all right, what are
I
we
would've
doing? Let's
ran.
do this. Like,
Come on, man! Like you got a gun, you got all the tools, the equipment.
the equipment.
What What equipment are we working with?
I mean, I watch the ID channel.
His
Okay,
equipment.
What equipment are we talking about?
I don't know. You know, they always have a case of ropes and chains.
I
and
almost
whatever.
feel like
It sounds like you've experienced this firsthand.
I told you I watch the ID channel. All right,
okay.
I'm alert to these types of situations.
That's his setup
okay?
every Friday night.
Stranger danger. That's what I tell my kids.
It was Adam's house, probably, right?
It could have been. But what was it like? I didn't know if he did that, like if that really is him, or if he did it because he didn't want anybody to buy the house and he was trying to freak people out. You know, so that was my thought.
Could have been.
process,
Was he a
anyway.
tenant or was?
Oh, he was a tenant.
Yeah,
That's to me
that's
sounds
possible.
like,
Yeah, like he was trying not to get people to buy it.
like
but-
Step Brothers, you know, like it's like a Step Brothers situation.
I don't have anything that crazy, but I did show a house on a Sunday morning, early in the morning, about 8:00 a.m. Touring the house, walking through, we're checking out all the rooms. We're hanging out in the kitchen, right? Talking about maybe potentially putting an offer in. And, my buyer says, hey, I don't think we were in that room over there, over in the corner. I'm like, no, I don't think we've seen it yet. They open the door and couple gets up. They're completely sleeping, had no idea we were in the house. I showed the property to them. We were there for a good half hour talking in the home.
Oh my
They were
God.
never told that we were there for a showing. So super awkward. Thankfully, it was uneventful. They didn't jump up and attack us or anything like that. But
I have
was
one
my
more.
story.
I have one more story, and this
Corey,
one's not that exciting though. I was in in Harrisburg, and it was a multi-unit property, and everybody was smoking weed. Like every apartment I went into, they were trying to get me to smoke. And I was so it was in the city, inner city, and this was a family that was coming from out of town, so they had no clue. Or was it a townhouse? No, that one was a townhouse. Forgive me. So it was a townhouse. Everybody, there was music blaring out the windows. They were scared to death. It was a white family, and this is an all black neighborhood. It was really funny. And they're in there puffing away. Like, you want some? I'm like, nah, man,
Wow.
I'm good. And they're like this, It was just a funny situation. They were definitely shook up a little bit.
It's amazing what we go through as agents, what we see.
You never.
I had somebody walk
I
through
had-
one of my listings. It was a final walkthrough of the day of settlement, and there was a naked man passed out on the couch. Remember Cindy? She was an agent in my Lebanon office. Yeah, she was the agent that went through with the buyers and called me on the phone in a panic. There's a naked man on the couch. Oh my God!
Is
how
that the one you were
excited
sending,
she
you
used to
sent me
get?
pictures of?
Oh,
Don't talk about that. all right? No, joking.
Was he?
Okay.
Was it an inclusion? Was he an inclusion in the sale?
yeah. Did he
Potentially, it was negotiable.
Oh, well, it should have been there.
Possible.
included in the sale? Naked man on
Lisa,
the couch.
Lisa, you've been very
you got,
quiet.
Lisa?
What's your story?
My worst one is more of a drug one, like showing a house in Lebanon and literally walking through and finding crack pipes everywhere. At one point, we just looked at each other and I'm like, I think we should probably leave. And they're like, yeah, probably. like
That's
that, that's
Lebanon.
no fun.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It's no fun though when you find that stuff, and especially when you're touring a house.
I don't have
with,
crack pipes
a
in my house.
family.
I don't either.
Yeah. Well, and I had family. It was a family. They're small kids with us. Like, all it takes is, that's there. What else could be there, right? And a kid touches something. Next thing you know, they're, ODing because there's fentanyl somewhere or whatever. So
Crazy.
Yeah,
scary,
that is scary.
crazy stuff. Crazy.
On that note,
So
this has been a
on that
different
note, was
this has been a different day for sure.
It's been a fun day.
This has
on
been
that
different.
note, though,
It's early.
Jay, is that your worst experience or is that just your most memorable?
That's my most memorable. I think worst experiences.
Yeah.
It comes down to people, right? Dealing with difficult transactions, difficult, unreasonable. I just had that. I had an awful day yesterday dealing with one of my sellers. I'm not going to name that name, obviously, for confidentiality reasons. Being a fiduciary and statutory agent, we're not going to name names by any means. But just being unreasonable. And no matter what you say and working with them, they're not taking any of your advice. They're not listening. They just want to talk. And that's the hardest part, right? I mean, that makes the worst experiences, and dealing with a very challenging seller that just doesn't want to listen, or a buyer. Like, they're just not realistic. And I sometimes feel like, and Chris Tucker, like, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Like, no, they don't.
Fire them.
And I did. And
for you.
collectively we did. He didn't want to be with me. And I was like, listen, you're not being realistic on what this is and what my job is. And I've explained this to you. And you didn't listen in the first meeting we met. You were just talking over, right? And I realize everyone has a story, right? Maybe a little bit of ADHD there. Maybe something else going on. Definitely like an alpha male that just doesn't want to listen to anybody else. Just wants it his way. And there's always a question I ask in every single listing appointment when I'm done after I feel like I have it closed, and I say, "Are you an asshole?" I ask that question to everybody, and I didn't this time because it was a referral from another agent from another company that I won't name names, Keller Williams. Rhymes with Schmeller Billums.
I have no idea what that would be.
Schmeller Billums. I've never heard of that. Schmeller Billums.
I can't really put two and two together.
Yeah, I can't. No idea who that is.
Oh, yeah, no idea.
Is that Berkshire?
Yeah.
No, and it was, so you're trying to take care of that agent, and there's a relationship that agent has with that, and I'm just like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm at a point now in my career, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take on your emotional burdens and your lack of being able to be a person that can be stable. That's not my problem, right? I can understand you're going through something maybe, and I'm going to help educate you through it, but at the same time, I don't need that in my life.
No amount of money is worth it.
No amount of money is worth your peace.
If it's going to flare up the IBS, it ain't worth it. That's kind of like that's where it goes for me.
I feel like that's something that we don't tell new agents either, to be comfortable firing clients. Like, you should be able to do that. You do it in a business. If something's not working out, you fire clients. Like, it's the same thing. Like, why put yourself through that? Find somebody better for them. Hey, I'm going to give you to somebody else.
Yeah, in the beginning, you need money, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
we talk about that
harder as a new agent.
I'm driving like an hour to show a $60,000 house when I first started.
We were for sure.
This is stupid. Like, and then we used to have these conversations. Corey, do you remember? I'd be like, man, I'm in too deep with this client. I showed him 25 homes, and I know they're never buying anything. But now I'm at the point where I showed him 25 homes, and I already spent all this money on them, so I just have to see it through. And then you'd be at like 35 homes, and they still didn't. And you're like, all right, maybe I should not see this one through. Remember, we used to have those talks all the time.
I think I got to 50 townhomes with a client. It's like the townhomes were all the same. I mean, a little bit of color variation and stuff like that, but really they're all the same in like one particular area. And it was constant for a year, is just showing townhomes and condos. And I'm like, I don't want to give them up because I feel like the next one's going to be it. This is going to be the one, right? And
but sometimes it's not worth it.
Sometimes it's not.
No, you just got to
Retainer.
kick rocks.
Retainer. I started doing retainer. So if I have unrealistic buyers, I'm saying, all right, I'll
I'm going to get rid of her. You're going to retain her.
I'm going to retain her.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Put in your retainer.
I thought you got rid of her.
I'm going to retain her.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Now I'm talking about Southern.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to.
The retainer, though, I back to the retainer. I had a buyer that wants to submit an offer of $200,000 under asking price on a $650,000 home that I've had just been bouncing around, helping them out multiple times, being available, jumping on their request right away. Like, yeah, we want to go in at $469. I'm like, I'm not your guy. I'm happy to submit that offer for you, and I'll give you someone else that wants it, but I'm going to take a $2,000 submission fee for this retainer.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to do that.
I'm not paying that.
Good for you.
Then you're not serious about buying a house then, because that money I would put towards your down payment, if you're serious about buying, then come to the table. And that's how I fired my buyers.
That's smart. I like that.
Yeah. Good work. What do you guys feel is the biggest myth in our industry? Anyone can take this. Myth. Biggest myth.
That it's easy.
I think that's a huge one for sure.
I think that we don't do anything. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The birds are chirping.
I think
that was crickets.
I think for me, it's the myth that we show people homes, we write offers, and the house is sold. Like, you ever talk to people and they're like, what do? You just open doors for people to show them. And I think that whole myth of I think people don't understand what goes on from the time they sign the agreement of sale till the time it closes, like all the fires that you put out behind the scenes and all the stuff you deal with. I think that to me is like that myth that it's just like you just open doors. What do realtors do? You just open doors. All you're doing is open a door for me. I don't know.
Sometimes
or that we just write paper. We just write contracts. That's all we do, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes you actually, when you go and show the property, you close the door that people are shitting in.
Oh yeah,
that's
a big problem. Some agents don't close the doors.
Opening and closing doors.
Yeah, closing doors. You have to close doors.
Sometimes agents don't even.
Sometimes you have to close a door.
Do anything
to open another.
What's the biggest myth for you, Corey? What are you feeling?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's pretty much the myth that what everybody's talking about here. I feel like we definitely do more work than everybody thinks.
I have one too. So easy.
I wasn't
but-
done talking, but
I'm
that's
sorry.
okay.
Go ahead.
No, I'm
go
done
ahead.
now. You hurt my feeling.
I'm sorry.
Feeling just one.
Just one, your last feeling.
My last one.
You were floundering a little. I wanted to step in and save you.
Yeah, I was struggling a little bit there.
Wow.
That we're overpaid too. I think that's another one. I think, from the public's perception, feel like realtors are overpaid, and I don't think that's the case at all. I think the value that we bring and the time and energy that we put into these transactions justifies what we charge.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
Well,
don't.
and
Go ahead.
yeah, and people don't. I was gonna say people don't see like the actual amount of money we spend to do our job. So sure, that price tag looks high to you, but this is all the stuff we have to put into selling a house for you or helping you find a house. So and the cost associated with it.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to say is the whole idea that do we really sell the house, right? I market the house, right? I don't create the pricing. That's the biggest challenge I run into is you should know as a realtor exactly what my house is going to sell for. If I knew exactly what your house
Stop
is going to sell
pointing
for,
at me.
I'm going to point it at him instead.
Wow.
If I knew
I
exactly,
can take it, Jay.
I'm going like this. This isn't better.
I don't think that's better. Actually, it is better. I like
a little
that.
strange.
I like that better.
Wow. I always, what my
Sorry.
phrase is
No,
for that,
you can
Jay?
finish.
Market dictates price.
Exactly.
That's what I tell everybody.
Yeah, I
all
say
my
the same.
sellers.
I say the same thing, and that's the most frustrating thing. And that's one of the faults I had in that experience yesterday. Is like you said, this is my house itself. I never said that. I said I think this is where the data shows your house should be listed. The market's going to determine where your house sells, not me. Here's the things I'm going to do to market it, and I don't want you to come back to me and say, why don't you try this, this, and this, and those things will all be done. The one thing I can't control is what is the buyer pool going to be willing to pay for it.
Nope.
And he did not want to hear that at all. I was like, all right, we're done. We're done.
That's like buyers too, because buyers always ask me, well, do you think I should pay this much for it? I said, the home is only worth what you're willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
So if you really want this home, you're not overpaying for it. You're getting the home that you want.
Do
right?
you like? I always say, do you like the house? Do you like this house? Do you love this house? Is this where you want to see your family for the next 20 years? They're like, yeah. Well, then it doesn't matter what it costs.
Doesn't matter.
Honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what it. If you're going to be there for that long, any equity that you might be losing early on, it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be there at the end. So
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep, totally agree.
Next.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Start off, Jay.
Fail fast, fail frequently, fail often. I know you guys had talked about those failures in one of your previous episodes, right? Like how that's a good thing. It's a good thing to learn what doesn't work, but make sure you know it's not working quickly. Give it enough time. The other thing, best advice my dad gave me was never underestimate the value of your education because no one can ever take that away from you, right? No one can ever take about how much you learn and can consume and be that progressive mindset, not politically, just progressive and like trying to be a better person, trying to learn more about dynamics and working with people. And my dad was a blue collar worker for 30 years at Kraft Foods. Was a forklift operator. So he was not the most educated guy, but he was smart enough to know that, if you just try to be a better person every day, life's going to get a little bit easier. You're going to make your life a lot easier for yourself in the long run. Corey, I'd love to hear Corey's. I'm not pointing. I'm just.
you just definitely.
I think you
at me.
pointed again.
Point it again.
I think I brought it up the other day. I think I did. In
I feel like we
one
did
of our
this
other
question.
Yeah, I feel like I talked about this
We
with
did-
my grandfather.
We had this, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my grandfather DeLeo dealt with racism as a kid, and I did talk about this.
Yeah, we did
that's
talk
the
about it.
same conversation. So he kind of said to me, the only thing that makes us the only reason we're different, the only thing that makes us different is my education. He's like, so work your ass off to be better, and yeah, to be better than those people that are, so that you can be their boss, basically. At one point, so they can't tell you what to do.
Yep.
And I think I always respected that, that conversation from him. So I stuck with the same thing as last time.
Good for you.
That's what I do.
Consistency is key.
It is key. It's a calculated risk.
What was quiet? You sound so quiet today.
I'm chilling today. I'm just calm. I don't know. That's not normal for me.
Calm.
Calm before the storm.
Showed a townhouse and smoked some weed before you got in here. Huh?
That's why I have the sunglasses on today.
That's what I thought.
Everybody has a sunglass. Well,
I-
except me and Jay.
I just wanted to be like Corey. That's what I.
I have
aspire
mine
for
on
every
because
day.
the glare from the window outside was bothering my eyes. So
It's supposed to get tinted
I have a hat on. It's exciting.
because you're in sunny Florida.
We can't see you, so that doesn't matter, Lisa. We don't care.
I'll send a picture. I know you don't care. It's okay.
We don't care. You know what
Okay.
the best advice I ever got, I think, and I didn't answer this last time, but I think it was consistency is everything. So, like, I ran a nightclub called Level 2, and we were extremely ahead of the times for our area, and, really strict dress code, like different, everything was different, bottle service, the whole nine, and nobody was really doing that in Central PA. And my owner, like, it was a struggle to get it off, but he was like, as long as you're doing the same thing every time people come in, people expect the same experience, even in like restaurants. Like if you walk in the door and every time you come there, you get the same service, you get the same great food, everything is consistent. Even if it's not the best food in the world, if it's consistently mediocre, whatever it is, as long as it's consistent, people will come because they know what to expect. So I think like just being consistent in everything that you do so people know what to expect from you. That's why I'm consistently an asshole.
The Grim Kleepler. That was the best line.
Good advice. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, I'm here for you. If you're going to be an asshole, just be consistent about it. That's it.
I think for me is just striving, whatever you do, whatever you choose to do in life, is take it serious and do the best you can, and put your full effort and abilities into it, and always strive to continue to better yourself in what you do. And you may not be the best at first, but you learn from your experiences and continue to always push yourself to be better. And I think if you do that on a consistent basis, you'll be successful in anything you do and in life in general.
If you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. Sweet baby Jesus.
I don't know what to do to my hands right now.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
That's a hilarious movie.
I love that.
It is so
I
funny.
drove down
I
here
love
today.
both of them.
The car ran good.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
The car ran good.
Will Ferrell is so funny.
I felt like I was on a spaceship.
I'm on fire. I'm on fire.
What was the movie he was in with the kids with the soccer, where he was like the coach of the Little League soccer thing, and then Mike Ditka was like his assistant?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Go get me a juice box. You're the juice box boy." That was hilarious.
Juice box boy.
We need that as a sound effect in the future.
The juice box boy.
Get me a juice box.
Get
with
me a
that
juice
voice.
box.
Get
Juice
me a
box
juice box.
Wow.
Wow.
Who do you think you are? You don't talk to me like that.
Oh,
It was funny. Guess you had to be there.
had to be there.
Got to be there.
Love you. All right, what's next, Lisa?
Kicking
What
and
do we got?
screaming.
What else you got for? What do we have for the people?
What advice would you give your younger self or someone who's just starting out in their career?
Get it, Jay. Lead it off. You're our special guest.
What would you give? What advice would you give?
Your younger self. Go way back.
I'd say, man, there's two things I'd say to that. One is be patient. Success, and you guys probably experienced this too. It doesn't happen overnight, right? When you built this brand, when you did everything you did, you had to have some failures. You had to go through tough times. Hearing your stories about being down to your last $10,000 and like this has got to work. Like those are scary times, but be patient. Time is your ally in things. Like you can use that time to get better at life and have better experiences. The other thing I'd say, best advice would be do what you love. I got into a role where when I graduated college, I was like, my goal was to be a CEO of something. And that was the wrong goal. I wasn't tied to anything specific. Like that's the stupidest thing, right? So focus on what you're truly passionate about. Doesn't matter what it pays you initially. You got to survive. But at the same time, if you're really passionate about it and you really believe in it, you should do it. And that's something I wish I would have learned 15 years ago.
I like that.
Yeah.
Adam, you got something for us?
I think honestly, like a lot of what you said, Jay, is you really find something that you're passionate about and enjoy, and pursue it to the best of your ability. But I think looking at my younger self, I think too is like you said, being patient. Because you don't always know what you want to do in life, and it's okay not to be in a rush to try and figure it out.
Yeah.
So opportunities come in time. So.
I like that.
Rob?
Oh, so I'd probably give the same advice that I give now, which is kind of ironic, right? So my advice to my kids has always been be unapologetically you. And I really screwed up. So, not screwed up, but I was gifted in elementary school, super smart. in the gifted program, straight A's, and I chose the path of being cool and running the streets.
You're telling exactly my story.
And
That's
you know,
exactly what I was
it's
gonna talk
because
about.
like, you know, so but yeah, Corey and I are like identical. It's ridiculous. But you know, it's that I wish somebody, when I was in elementary school, when I was younger anyway, I wish I had somebody teach me that it's okay. It's okay to be smart. It's okay to be better than people at stuff. Like, you almost felt guilty, or I felt like, oh man, I'm smart. This is stupid. Like, I don't want to be smart. Like, I got to be cool. I got to run the streets. I got to be a badass. You know, like, and so I did that, and then it made my life 10 times harder, you know, for a long period, when I could have just been the smart kid for a long time. You know, like, could have been a smart kid through school, and I probably would have been accelerated to be where I am. Not that I regret all the crazy stuff that I did along the way to be who I am today, but you know, I would go back to my younger self and give the same advice that I give to my kids, and that's just be unapologetically you.
That's exactly it. I mean, looking back at myself, I would say just be who you are, instead of trying to fit into the mold that everybody else wants you to be. And I tried to, being biracial, you know, living in a white town, ultimately white town, I was trying to be the stereotype that everybody thought I should be. And I was a smart kid. Like, I remember in elementary school, I think it was in 3rd grade, and I had like a 6th grade reading level. Like, I didn't struggle at all with reading. Other kids were struggling. But then I started to kind of dumb myself down because of everybody else around me making fun of me or trying to be cool. That was the biggest issue I had, is trying to be cool, trying to be down. And those cool kids, I tell my kids now, those cool kids that are cool now in their 20s are going to be doing nothing. You know, most of them, not everybody, but most of them are going to be a bunch of idiots playing catch up in their 30s and 40s, trying to get to where you should have been from the beginning. And I look at Rainey. I always talk about my 18-year-old, but she has always done the right thing. You know, she bust her ass in school, got into Penn State, you know, main campus, and she works her ass off. And guess what? Her life is going to be better. She's not going to have to go through all that shit, you know, that I went through, that I know Rob went through, to get to what we should have done in the beginning. So yeah, that's it.
Lisa, what you got?
I keep forgetting about Lisa because she's not here.
It's weird. It is weird. Yeah. That's what I keep trying to go back
I'm
to.
here. I'm in your mind. No, no, I would say mine's very similar to what everyone's saying, and just don't let people put you in a box. And this goes back to what Jay talked about earlier. Like, you work for a big corporation and you're kind of a cog in a wheel, you know, and you play a game to do what they want you to do and get your promotion or whatever. But when you realize you're doing that, you're just letting them put you in a box. You're letting them control your destiny and who you are. Like, the minute you start doing that, you're not being yourself. You're not following any of this advice that everyone is saying. So don't go in a box. That's all I'm saying.
I want to really digress, and I'm not going. I want to say that
I'm not getting in trouble.
I'm on the Justin Timberlake thing right now.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We should have just sang it.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
You want to sing it?
No.
There's a box right over there.
This one's already
It's a
getting
gift.
flagged.
Yeah, we're in trouble on this one.
I wasn't talking about that.
I know. That's literally the first thing that came out. Oh man.
All right, Jay, this is my last question for you.
Okay.
How has being part of the Iron Valley real estate family changed your career?
Oh God, it's changed my life. I don't even say career. It's changed my life. It's letting me know that I could be who I am. You know, I can, like I said, come on a podcast and talk about IBS. Would have thought that was going to happen 3 years ago, right? It's about being yourself, and I think that's the biggest thing. Is it's outside of the value proposition, the ownership support, you know, having amazing agents in the culture we have. It's no one else was doing it, and then we're doing it for the right reasons, and taking greed out of the equation, taking all those things. I mean, that's who I was kind of growing up and kind of coming from a blue collar family. Mm-hmm. Is that there has to be a path to success there. It doesn't seem like you have to be this conforming thing we talked about. So I think it's embrace. I would wear a suit every day. Even when I started my real estate career, I was wearing a suit. I don't do that anymore. That doesn't happen.
We talk about that a lot, actually. Like, should we still be doing that? You know, should we be wearing a suit, dressing up more?
Well,
you know?
now if I'm showing a $2.5 million house for the first time,
You're going
It's
naked.
a little different.
You're dressing up.
I'm going naked. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
You're wearing a diaper.
Seal the deal.
You're wearing Depends just in case.
Oh man, that was mean. That was mean.
You know what? I've never worn one. I'll take that.
Pull no punches.
You have to take risks. I take a calculator risk.
You have to.
Taking that one
you
from my
gotta do.
book.
I take a calculated risk and say, listen, and we're gonna see what happens today. We're gonna see what happens.
I'd probably wear one if I had that issue. Like especially when I ride. Like I go on really long rides on the bike. Like what do? You just pull over and run in the woods?
Oh, I was on the Atlantic City Expressway one time and I couldn't make it to that Farley Plaza station.
Oh yeah.
That's like the only like rest stop, and I'm like, pull over. What's happening? It's go time. I gotta go. Took my fleece off, went in that little wooded area, and I'm like, it was the first time I pinched a loaf outside, and I'm like, this is gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
and I
just think of Bridesmaids when she's like, it's happening.
It's happening,
It's
yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
And she just squats in the middle of the road.
yeah, I've done that was the one I remember. Yeah.
It's funny because we had people over for my birthday on Friday, and I have a friend with IBS, and he was in the house, and Ashley walked in and looked at him, and he had the most concerned look on his face. He looked like he just saw a ghost. Like he's just like, holy shit. And she's like, are you okay? And he was like, no, somebody's in this bathroom. And I went up to the bathroom in the hallway and somebody's in that bathroom. And he was like, I know this is gross, but I really have to go. And she's like, just use our bedroom. You know what I mean? And she took him, but it's real. Like she said, he was so concerned. Like, and she was like, what is wrong?
Oh man.
It was just,
No,
it was go time.
I have a story. Just a quick one.
Go time.
It's a quick one. So I was running the one day, and I was on like a 10-mile training run for the marathon or whatever out in Susquehanna State Park or whatever, Swatara State Park, not Susquehanna. And I was out there with my wife and her friend, right? So I was in front of everybody. I was feeling myself. I'm like going, and literally, I was like 5 miles in, and I was like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. Like it has to happen right now. And I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? I could go in the creek and like squat in the creek, and do that, or I could
Up Shit's Creek.
Yeah, I was like thinking, but I'm like, yeah, but it's right off the trail. So if anybody is coming by and there's people everywhere, they're gonna see me squatting in the creek, and that's gonna look weird. But then I could clean up with the water. I'm like, okay, I can find some leaves, and there's no freaking leaves.
It's like nature's bidet.
It was horrible. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I actually held it, which I don't know how I did, but it was overwhelming.
Just sweat it out.
It was the worst thing I've ever experienced. I was literally running around, like darting back and forth. Like, where do I go? I could go down by the river. I could go over here in the creek. Yeah, it was bad.
You've just described an entire what it's like to live with IBS. Seriously, like every person, like that whole thing. Like, there's always a strategy. Like, my wife's like, "Do you want to go grocery shopping?" I'm like, "No, too far from there to there." Like that. Oh, man. If I'm in produce, I'm not getting to the bathroom in time. It's not happening.
Is there like an
comes
IBS
on like
society?
so quick, right?
Yeah, it just comes on. Yeah,
There's like an IBS society. Like shout out to the IBS society.
Like a
can we
chat
get a
group
sponsorship for this episode.
yeah. That's gonna be the next cure for the Cleeper is gonna be IBS, right?
Yeah, Cleeper
IBS.
for a cure.
Cleeper.
IBS.
IBS Society.
I'm out here trying to cure IBS.
Corey, I'm surprised you didn't just go, hey, the Appalachian Trail's right here. I should just go there because a through hiker probably pooped right there, and we'll be
They
good
do.
to go.
I mean, they definitely do. And I didn't want to do it. I was
You're
more
in panic
embarrassed, I
mode.
think, around my wife and my wife's friend. Like
full panic.
That
mode.
would be embarrassing.
That was the most embarrassing part.
Go over there 9 miles away so you can't see me.
But you were like super far ahead, right?
I was ahead, but at that point, when I was running around, they had caught up.
Oh, they caught up. Yeah.
Like run around like an idiot trying to find a spot. Yeah. I made it that time.
Oh man,
Did you see the Boston Marathoner that just got?
Yeah, you do on the video cam call.
That's horrible.
that's super
What
common. I heard with marathon runners, they just
I didn't
go.
see it.
Like,
What
there's
happened?
nothing you can do.
This guy was running on a Boston Marathon, and he had to take a crap.
Yeah.
So he just goes right up in front
Squatted in
of
someone's yard.
goes in someone's front yard.
my
There's a bunch of
goodness.
arborvitae trees. He goes right behind them and just pinches a loaf and just like right on the doorbell camera.
I mean, being somebody who runs races, I have literally seen people in front of me who have shit themselves and are running with shit in their pants, and
Oh, that's-
you can
I've seen
tell.
people
That's
that-
dedicated
that-
right there,
And-
that
Lisa.
pee
Yeah,
themselves all the
it's-
time.
The amount of taping that has to happen after that,
This took a turn for the worst.
It
was the
really
weird-
did. It took a brown turn.
This is a weird podcast.
It's a brown turn.
I knew it was going to be. I said when Jay
we
comes,
took
it's
the
going to
brown
get
turn.
weird.
Brown Valley real estate. Yeah, I get it.
Brown Valley. Wow.
Jay, what questions do you have for us? Do you have any burning questions for us?
Yeah, I do have a couple questions for you guys. I thought long and hard about those questions.
I bet you did.
They were firm questions, very firm questions.
You're not used to that.
First question is for Corey. Obviously, Corey, my mom has a absolute obsession with you.
Your mom's great.
My first question would be: would you be willing to give her a shout out for this? Because I know she's going to be listening to this. She's first of all, she loves all you guys. But the story goes, I think we had the Ocean City grand opening, and then we had the picture there, and my mom's like, "Who's that?" Pretty sure it was Corey. I was like, "That's Corey Kaplan." She's like, and she gets all red. My mom's like 80 years old.
Yeah.
She's like, "He's handsome."
Yeah. I get that from.
He's handsome, and I'm like,
old
"Mom,
ladies.
you're blushing."
Wow.
And so that'd be my first question. Would you be willing to give out Terry Lesko a shout out on the podcast here?
Terry Lesko, I love you.
Oh.
Thanks for creating a great son. And next time, he calls me dad now. He calls me dad. Just to let you know.
Thanks, Dad.
Love you, Terry.
That's awesome. That's the first. How to get that one out of the way. I guess big question. Where do you see the future going for all this? I mean, I know. Lisa kind of came in and starts to pull this stuff together here, right? As far as the brand and everything else and the compliance stuff, but where's the future? What's the big plan? Don't everyone jump in on at the same time on that one there.
Crickets.
Do the crickets again.
Can I hear the bum 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 bum? You got the horn.
Do the horn.
That one's
And the
good.
crickets. And the crickets.
I think.
Go.
Do you
Go
wanna
out.
go,
No,
Rob?
you go. Go.
No,
you
I
go
think
first.
I think for us is we love what we're doing here at Iron Valley, and every day I know at least for me it's a joy to get up and to come to work and to push the company forward
Further.
Water. Always making fun of my accent.
I love you.
Thank you. But for us, we want to continue to build this company and take it throughout the United States, and just network with great owners and people and agents and build this kind of local homegrown organic business that we started here in little old Lebanon County, Pennsylvania. And, I feel like we're really doing something good. And, that's where I kind of see us going, is to continue to grow the business and with like-minded people and good owners and good agents.
That's a great answer.
I feel the same way.
Go, Corey.
I feel the same way as far as, for me, it's not even, everybody's like, oh, you build a business for the money, and I don't even care about the money. It's cool to watch everybody grow. It's cool to watch the baby, that I remember having a conversation with you when I came over as an agent and seeing the possibilities of what we could do with this. And I remember the conversation, like, could this really grow? I mean, I was like, I really think this is huge, could be huge. So for me, it's that. I mean, I love I just did a Zoom with a guy yesterday in Maine who we're moving forward. So
Really?
yeah,
That's exciting.
That's a pretty exciting.
Portland area or?
Well, everybody, it's a weird area, and I didn't really know it until yesterday. And maybe I shouldn't be saying this yet, but what the hell? I'm saying it.
Does it rhyme with Schman and Bunkport?
It does. It does. Well, no, everybody there, they work all of it. It sounds like all the agents are everywhere, but Portland is Bangor.
Bangor, Maine, yeah.
Is another spot.
Banger.
No, but for me, it's the growth. I mean, that to me is what excites me more than anything.
I'm like,
I get excited
You get excited.
from the growth.
Can't just hide it.
I think I'm waiting for like the next
I like
level. I think we're at like this weird crossroads again, like we always get in our business. So like, the slower market the last year, it did a lot for us in the sense that we started to grow, like our individual offices started to grow. And I think that it changed the way people were thinking about real estate a little bit again, because, we were in such a weird market with COVID where it was so easy to be a real estate agent and people weren't thinking about making changes, thinking about their bottom line. And I think since it shifted, people kind of shifted their thought process with the bottom line and their splits. So we grew. I mean, we saw it, right? We had like 88 join Iron Valley Real Estate last month alone. Mm-hmm. So I think through all this growth, once the market picks back up, I think we're all going to see a big revenue boost. And I think we're also going to see the capability to do some different things in terms of marketing for our point of view, our standpoint. And I think we just enacted the area development agreement, and we had 2 partners with us both sign on to those. So I think that also allows us to grow faster, but do it organically. So I really feel like we're right on that cusp of really exploding. And I mean that
explosive growth,
not
Do the
explosive
ones,
diarrhea,
Ken.
but I feel like what we have is better than where we are. I'm tough on us, and what I mean by that is, like, we have something very unique, and every time we go into a new market, people really take hold of it. And when we go to places, people aren't like put off by it. They don't laugh at us. They're like, man, we really love your branding. We really love what you're doing. Even when Corey's talking to people about opening a franchise, even when they decide not to open the franchise, they're never like, you suck and this is stupid. It's still positive, like, feedback from it. So I think what we have really has the capability to be at that level of a Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, Howard Hanna nationally. I think we have that capability. I just think it's not our time yet. But I think our time is coming soon, and that I'm excited for.
On that vein, if we look at, I don't want to say any names here, but it rhymes with meal tea fun.
Wow.
If we look at that, if we look at them, and I mean, when did they start to grow? I mean, they were around
Year
since
10.
when?
So they started in
Year 10.
2006,
Right.
and then 10, but 16 honestly is when they really took off.
That was
and
10
it was
years.
couple.
That's
It
what I
was
meant.
because of a couple key people too that came on board.
Yeah, they brought the
that
one
made
dude over from
quite a bit of difference.
something that sounds like relax.
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 Relax, broker.
So I think again, like our franchise owners say, well, I'm not growing at the rate or the speed that I want to. We're saying the same thing where we are, but we're trying. The magic hasn't happened yet, and it's going to. And I think we just have to sit tight and be ready for it.
You can't
Maybe not sit tight.
can't
but,
replicate time, right? There are some things that, and we talked about it in Rehoboth, right? And you and I talked about that, I think, a little bit when you guys were going through your like weird hump, and it's the same. Yeah, it's okay, it's cool, it was fun.
It's not hump day yet, man.
Hump day, but it's
hump say, guys.
there is a point like where people have to be comfortable with who you are, and they have to see that you've been around long enough to know that they can buy into your system, right? And nothing can fix that except for time. And so you do have to be patient sometimes and just wait it out and know that when it hits, and that time is going to come.
Yeah, we had a ton of folks in Rehoboth said, "Are you Next RE? Are you that company that's rebranding?" Like, they thought we were another real estate company that was just trying to disguise ourselves as a failed company.
Gotcha.
To come back and get agents, and we still have to overcome that objection. Like, no, that's not us. I got a call yesterday from a woman saying, "I'm looking for this so and so from Next RE." I'm like, that's not me. I don't know what to tell you. You looking to buy or sell a house? I can help you though. Crazy. Lisa, curious to hear your perspective on that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's everything what the guys are saying, and the addition to it is staying true to ourselves and staying true to where we came from. We don't want to lose sight of that, because I think to Rob's point, we know we have something great. We don't want to be like everybody else, and I want to see us continue to be that way and be that place that everyone fits in, everyone's part of the family, and just stay, being true.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that resonates with me very much every day when I think about you guys as a headquarters, a hive, a rectum, whatever you want to call it. Is that you always ask me, like Lisa always asked the question, what would make you not be a franchise owner after your 5 years is up? I said, just don't change who you are. Be genuinely who you are. Don't let the success get to you or take it to your head. Just keep doing, and you're doing that, and that's what I appreciate. So I'm grateful that you're staying that way, because that means a lot to a lot of us, and grateful for that. On a heartfelt note.
Awesome.
Thank
Do you have any more questions for us, Mr. Lesko?
I want to know if Corey is going to still pursue the largest poop I heard on the one podcast.
That's weird.
This seems like a proper time to talk about it, though, with this shitty conversation today. Why is that so weird?
Maybe you shouldn't touch the mic.
Well, I was trying to get it ready for me.
Wow.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I mean, I'm definitely dedicated to the cause. I've been eating a lot of
Fiber.
lots of fiber, lots of pasta. I'm trying to figure out the combination of what is going to give me the longest, most firm, because firmness matters in that game.
Are there like Kegel exercises for your sphincter? So you can control it.
I think so.
You're asking the wrong guy. I obviously haven't mastered that yet.
I think the key, Corey, is going to be your pace.
Right.
The pace that it comes out, right? Because if it's too fast, it just cuts
It's going to cut it off short.
It cuts it short.
It's got to be slow and low.
Yeah, and because if you have the carbs definitely the pasta will create excess gas.
Does it.
So that's going to make it a projectile, and you don't want that because you might lose lose composition.
I've been doing lots of squats and walking while I squat.
Yeah,
because I think that's going to be, I don't want to do it in a toilet.
Yeah,
I want to lay it out as a nice line.
Well, I sent you
right next to the ruler.
So the reason the story comes up is because after the one podcast when he said that, I'm like, I immediately Googled largest shit in the world and some Scottish guy or something, right? It's like 19 inches or something.
It was a big one.
Jesus.
To be very honest, though, that just came out of my mouth. I'd never even really considered taking the one.
now-
I mean, I think you own that one now.
But now I am. That's
your
I'm gonna
thing.
try.
That's your claim to
Known
fame.
for that.
It's my claim
It
to
could
fame.
be.
I'm glad
When you do the description for this podcast, all you have to do is do the poop emoji. Nothing else. Literally, just the poop emoji
I would
to
love
describe
that.
this whole podcast.
This is a very
This is a dream come true
poop-heavy
for me.
podcast.
Yeah.
well, no one ever accused us of not being who we are. So
Yeah.
This is true.
Well, I did bring you.
Jay.
One more thing. I did.
Gift. Hold on. Jay's got the gift.
So these are my underwear.
Oh my god.
So the story goes.
It's not the one that you threw away.
those are the
right?
ones.
No?
Those are the ones.
No, these are the ones.
Are these clean? Are these the ones you wore when
These
you
are clean.
These
These
are
are
clean.
bleached
All right.
twice, but
Okay, good.
also OxyClean, just so you know. So,
Okay.
Wow.
so we've got these super clean. I'm going to leave these for you. These
Thank
are,
you.
So the story goes, Corey took a picture of my underwear. So I guess Gordon, which was funny because it happened during Gordon.
Gordon Watt.
Yeah, he's sitting there talking in our owner's session at Bash, and then Corey sends a picture of my crack hanging out.
That was so nice of you, Corey.
I just wanted to let him know.
Yeah.
Let
And
him
I'm
know.
like,
Looking
You're looking out, man.
and I seriously thought to myself, this is why I'm with Iron Valley. Like that was like no, I wouldn't get that in the corporate world, right?
The defining moment.
Defining
that was
moment.
the defining moment.
That'd probably be an HR incident or something in the
Definitely,
corporate world.
definitely. My boss at Bank of New York Mellon would be like, pull your goddamn pants up, but you were like, I started pulling them down further. Remember?
You did for sure.
You saw some.
That was exciting. Like,
I don't know how much you saw, but
Crack kills.
yeah.
Enough.
Yeah.
I saw enough, Jay.
So I started pulling it down further and further. So these are those underwear that I was wearing that
That's
day.
awesome. Thank you.
So I am
That's
honestly,
so special.
I'm leaving these with you, and you can wear them.
I'm gonna frame them. I'm
Put,
gonna
it- yeah,
frame
put them up in
Frame
the
them.
office.
They're getting framed.
So the story
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
The story goes. I tried to find a company that would frame them, and no one would touch them.
You found one.
No one wanted to touch your boxer.
So
I guess that is kind of
So
creepy.
So what I did do is I got a picture made. It's not ready yet. I was hoping to have it today, like a canvas print for you that has that shot. That says on the bottom, it has our logo. It says "Make your move."
Wow.
But this is my parting gift for
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I'm
man.
excited. I'm kind of scared to touch them.
It's kind
They are
Thank
clean.
you.
You can wear them.
man.
They are clean. They have been
Corey just
washed
put the
like 20
boxes on his
times.
head. It's weird.
I feel like now we need like underwear swag.
I-
Iron
I-
Valley.
We should
Guys,
sponsor an
I
underwear
would totally
company.
be the model for that. Not that I have a model body
Do we
by
have-
any means.
They should
Underwear
say,
on the store?
they should say,
We should
no,
get
they
them
should
up
say
there.
make your move on the waistband.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
Or do your
Oh my
thing.
God, that'd be
yeah. Do your
I
thing.
love it.
Even if
We
it's
need
do
to,
this
we
thing.
need to do that.
even if it's not timed appropriately.
I have a beach market to sell, and I usually give out beach towels. That's the other thing. I got you all a Lesko the Beach water bottle back here for all you too.
Yes,
So
let's
thanks.
go to the beach,
Gifts.
boy.
We don't have any gifts for you.
No, I just wanted to like I said, it's a thanks. It's all from me thing. Genuinely, thank you. I mean, you guys talked about angles. There's no angles with me. Like it's just being very grateful, being very humble.
I think
just,
that's an angle.
that's an angle.
That's his angle.
My angle is
a
I
genuine
don't have an
angle.
angle. I just like just
genuine.
Just be yourself.
It's a genuine angle.
But I have those for you, and we do have a beach market. So bathing suits, towels, anything like that has the brand on there. Speedos. I would wear it. I would
Banana
totally.
hammock.
You would do this.
I would do a listing video with me just wearing a speedo
Okay.
saying with whatever's on it.
Iron Valley banana.
I'm gonna
hammock.
pass on that one, but I'll let you do that one.
I want to
Corey, I
record.
can see you do that. Do the speedo.
I'm not a big Speedo guy, but I can for
You should
this.
do it.
For this.
All right.
For the
We should,
cause,
we
for
should
sure.
probably
For the
wrap.
cause.
this
Yeah,
up.
I don't know
This
what
is-
we're
this
even
is-
Well,
talking
wait.
about anymore.
This is a long
Wait.
podcast. What you got, Lisa?
No, we gotta end. with a game of Would You Rather.
Oh man.
Sorry.
All right, do it up. I got to leave in 15 minutes, so let's do this.
This will be fast. And I am pulling this from the extremely extreme version of Would You Rather, just to warn you.
Extremely.
Yes, and there's multiple categories. This one's only slightly extreme. So, would you rather only be able to enter rooms via Kool-Aid Man-style wall crashes, or only be able to exit rooms by jumping through a window as if fleeing a burning building?
Oh, I'm doing the Kool-Aid Man all day. That would be badass. How cool would it be to come through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man? Yeah, that's mine.
I'm going out of windows because I don't want to pay for the damages that I do every time I'm, coming into a building.
Yeah.
You're just going to flee and never go
I'm
back.
gonna jump out the windows just because I like jumping off of things real high.
I think I already got the Kool-Aid body down, so I'm going Kool-Aid guy.
I'm Kool-Aid all the way.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
This is a necessary question based on our podcast today. Would you rather have your feces come out in a perfectly stacked pyramid of spheres like cannonballs, or brown bubbles that float in the air?
Wow! Oh my God, that's
I need
so
time to think about
weird.
this one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I'm doing poop pyramids all day. I mean, it's an easy one. I don't want my bubbles floating around the room.
I think poop bubbles would be kind of cool, though.
It's so weird. I'm good.
Think of what you could do at kids' birthday parties. I mean, kids'
yeah,
birthday parties would be
They
great.
would love that. Yeah.
That'd be a real shitty.
I'm the bubble. I'm a bubble guy.
Yeah.
I'm a
There
pyramid
goes my.
girl.
Yeah, I'm a bubble guy.
Jay's probably experienced both of these already, so
Just happened 5 minutes ago for me.
he's like, "Well, this is my fucking life."
Well, I don't like the idea of it floating in the air.
Yeah.
So I got to go stacked pyramid, but I'd prefer any geometric shapes that I can make with it. Like I'll go with octagons
Triangles.
or triangles. Yeah, pyramids.
Diamond.
That'd be cool.
Diamonds would be good. I'll go with any shapes of poop.
I'll go with a stack feces. The
You could
bubbles
open
are a little too much.
You could
for
open
me.
an art
I think
studio.
bubbles are cool.
Yeah.
Art studio.
Would you rather eat 30 jalapenos with no water or use poison ivy to blow your nose?
Jalapenos are not that bad.
They
to
are
me,
really not.
So I would
Yeah.
eat 30 jalapenos.
I think I've ate 30 jalapenos before for fun.
You've eaten them?
Yeah.
Have you?
Eight. I've
No wonder.
EIGHT.
I'll go with
IBS.
jalapenos. I'm going with jalapenos.
Yeah, jalapenos for sure. I don't. Yeah.
All right.
It should have been a red pepper question or a chili pepper.
Ooh, yeah, that's a different story.
Ghost pepper.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you
North
rather
Carolina Reaper. or
have to
whatever.
sit in a baby seat high chair at all restaurants or to use a sippy cup for all beverage consumption?
Oh, I would be down to use a sippy cup. Actually, I'm cool with that. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with the
Less
I go
spilling.
sippy cup. Yeah, cool
I'll
with it.
sippy cup.
Yeah, it's
sippy
not
cup.
really.
I
that
just think it would
embarrassing.
be. I think it would be funny to walk into every restaurant
Can
and
I
be like, I
sit-
need a high chair.
Can I sit in the high chair and use the sippy cup? Is that an option?
Right?
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I would do that.
I don't even know if they make high chairs that would fit any of us.
No.
You'd have to sit like
You
on
have
the
to bring
top
your
of
custom
it.
high chair.
I know what we're gonna do after this.
It'd be super weird.
Do you guys want to like go down to Devon's and try that out after this?
Yeah, can I get a high chair, please?
And
Can I
sippy
get a
cups?
booster seat?
Can you guys accommodate that?
Iron Valley booster seats. We'll take our own.
Oh my gosh. Okay, 3 more and then we're done.
Oh,
Would you
man.
rather have the national anthem changed to Whip It or the Pledge of Allegiance changed to the lyrics of Baby Got Back?
Oh, baby got back.
Baby got
That's a
back all the way.
classic, American
Baby
classic.
Got Back. Yeah.
Whip it good.
Whip it good. Wrong
Whip
whip
it
Which whip
good.
it? Oh, whip it.
Whip
Wrong
it.
whip it.
You want
We're
Devo
talking
whip
about
it?
Devo whip it.
I'd say if you go the other whip it, absolutely. But if you're going whip it Devo,
See, I would go Devo whip it.
Whip
That's a banger from back in the day. I love it.
I gotta get Baby Got Back.
Baby Got Back.
My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, huh?
You could do side bends or sit-ups.
You know
but
how
please
great
don't lose
everything.
that butt.
Could you imagine in school if that's what you had to learn instead of the Pledge of Allegiance? How much fun would that be? Damn, life would be so much better.
Everyone would dance. You'd be dancing the whole time. It'd be great. Yeah.
it'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be great.
All right. Would you rather always be bobbing and weaving like a boxer or have your at-rest position be the Running Man dance?
I'm taking the Running Man dance.
I want
all
a
the
running
way.
man. I'll do the running
I'm
man.
doing
too.
Running Man
Yeah.
too. That'd be fun.
I'm going
Although it would be
boxer.
fun to
I'm
bob
going
and
boxer,
weave.
like, I'm doing the bob and weave. I go bob and weave.
Bob and weave. I kind
Bob
of like
and
the bob and weave too. Okay. Last one. Would you rather be able to scan documents into your computer with your tongue or be able to weed whack with your foot?
Foot weed whacking.
Yeah, foot weed whacking sounds awesome.
Does
Because
the-
you don't have to use the weed whacker just for that.
Right.
It's a weapon.
Yeah, for
It's a
sure.
web, yeah.
That could save your life.
I would do that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
the
You
foot
could-
just
you
spins
probably could-
like crazy, like
Everybody
around the
was
ankle.
kung fu fighting.
Yeah. What type of gauge string are we talking on this weed whacker, Lisa?
I don't know. I didn't say whatever you want to do.
It
But
is
what
a-
if you were like a soccer? You couldn't play soccer. You'd freaking deflate the ball all the time.
Just kick with your other leg.
I'd
you
put
know?
it. I'd put a 9-volt adjustable on there, something else to just knock it like a paddle and kicking the ball 3,000 yards.
Right. That'd be so weird. All right.
It really depends on how it works because
Can you turn it on and
something
off?
could come out and then spin.
Ooh.
You know,
Can you
So
turn
you
it
can
on
use
and
your
off
foot
at
normally.
will though?
Kind of like
that's-
Inspector
yeah.
Gadget.
Yeah.
Go Gadget.
I used to love Inspector Gadget when I was a kid.
Go Gadget Whacker Foot.
go gadget whacker.
Can we have that as a sound? Go Gadget. Oh,
I used to like that show when I was a kid.
I loved it when I was a kid. I'm not gonna lie, that was a good.
the
He had
best
the
line, right?
lighter in the finger. Remember the finger?
Yeah,
in
like
yeah,
the helicopter too,
The
where he like come out
helicopter.
of his
that was
arm.
that was his head. His
Was
hat
it?
or whatever.
Oh,
His
yeah,
head,
yeah,
and
You
you
go
go
like
like
this.
You got
Hold
his
on
hat
to
and he'd
with the
hold on to it with the
Yeah.
handlebars. There you
Like
go.
fly around.
Yeah,
Go Gadget arm.
Matthew Broderick didn't do the movie any justice, though. He didn't.
No, he
He didn't, do,
sucked.
he didn't do a good job with it.
No.
We need a remake.
Adam, you should be Go Gadget.
Inspector Gadget.
I would do it. I mean,
Inspector
You'd
Gadget.
make a great Inspector Gadget.
Inspect my
probably
gadget.
would. Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry. Okay.
All right.
And on that note, I think we're done.
We are done.
It's a wrap.
Thanks, Jay Lesko. We
Hey, thank you
appreciate
guys.
y'all
Appreciate
spending
Thank
this
you,
day.
Jay.
Thanks,
Lesko.
Joe.
Yeah, that
Appreciate
went
you guys
exactly
tuning in,
as
everybody.
I expected. So, number 6
Was.
is a wrap.
A shit show.
We'll wrap it up. Bye, guys. Thank you.